Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Pinnacle, your go-to channel for everything Fantasy Premier League. What a crazy game week we've just had, and it doesn't stop here with the second of back-to-back double game weeks just around the corner. We'll be diving into the best players and teams to target for the upcoming Double Game Week 25, discussing the best way to play your assistant manager chip, and finally, I'll walk you through my own team selection and transfer plans for Game Week 25. But before we do all that, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's do a quick recap of how Game Week 24 went. Alright, let's take a quick look at how my team performed in Game Week 24. I finished with 128 points. It wasn't a huge week for me despite the high score, but it was definitely a green arrow nonetheless. Looking at some of the scores across the community, it was a massive week, and congratulations to you Salah triple cappers. You were for sure the winners. I've seen one team with over 200 points. Sadly not me, but my first 100 plus return this season moved me from 326k to 282k. There was another battle in Game Week 24 that I'm sure quite a few of you were involved in, and that was between managers, David Moyes and Arne Slot. I played my assistant manager chip in Game Week 24, going with Moyes, who ended up being the better choice, raking in 22 points to Slot's 15, as Everton managed to get a last-minute goal to draw the game. If you watched the game, you'll know there was an absolute scenes at the end with multiple red cards shown, including one for Slot. But we'll talk about how that affects things going forward later on in the video, as well as what to do next if you're on assistant manager. Salah was the star man again with 29 points. 3 goals, an assist and 6 bonus points. Despite him being my captain, because of the triple captainship, his effective ownership was over 200%, meaning I lost points on him regardless. Chris Wood also came through with a hat-trick in a week where he was widely transferred out. Overall, I think it was a decent week, but nothing to write home about. As I mentioned earlier on, we have another double game week in 25. Liverpool will be doubling for their second week playing Wolves and Villa, who will also be doubling playing Leicester and Liverpool. Villa are a difficult one despite the double because they blank in 29, so transferring players in now may make it difficult to navigate Game Week 29 without a free hit, which I think is the best strategy going forward. Of course it depends on which chips you have left, but at the moment it looks as if there will be a big blank in 34, and this will be the best time to use your free hit. If you want a video going into more depth on the best chip strategies, let me know down in the comments. The reason Villa are so difficult is because you likely already have a team full of players from other teams blanking in 29. Liverpool being one of them, of which most people will have 3 due to their back-to-back double game weeks. The other 2 teams almost certain to blank are Newcastle and Palace. This is because Liverpool and Newcastle have both made it to the Carabao Cup final. So if you own a number of Isaac, Hall, Gordon, Mateta and or Munoz, trying to field 11 players in 29 will be impossible. Their defence also hasn't been that strong of late, so I wouldn't touch any of their defenders personally, despite the double, and if I was making a defensive transfer this week, I'd be going for the likes of Kirkes. In the midfield, the only one I would be certain of getting good minutes is Rodgers, but again, is it worth transferring him in just to be taking him out a few weeks later? Especially as building up free transfers may be critical to navigating blank fixtures coming up. That being said, if you already own him, I wouldn't be transferring him out yet. The other midfielders are tricky as they did some business in January, bringing in the likes of Rashford, Asensio and Marlon. How many starts and minutes these players will get, I'm unsure, especially as Villa already have the likes of McGinn, Bailey and Ramsey in those positions. I would also be reluctant to touch Ollie Watkins as he currently yellow flagged, and to get him in probably means taking out either Gakpo, who is on a double, or Isak, who has been the best striker in the league for the past few months. One Villa asset that will be unaffected by blanks is Unai Emery, so if you are looking to play your assistant manager or currently playing it, he will be one to look at. In terms of Liverpool, and the obvious is Salah, 22 goals in the Prem now and he's not looking like slowing down. He's a must have, especially for doubles. Next is another manager in Slot. Liverpool have the best attack and pretty much the best defence in the league just behind Arsenal. playing Wolves and Villa who you'd expect them to beat. Cody Gakpo is the next best option for me, just beating out Trent, who did come on in the game against Everton but didn't start. I would be cautious around moving to Trent now with Liverpool's demanding schedule. I'm sure his minutes will be managed, but not a player I would look to take out for the moment either, due to the fact he did play some minutes in the Everton game. One of the biggest talking points this week will be what to do with your assistant manager chip. Whether you are looking to activate it or already have it activated, there are a few options to look at. The first thing I would like to say is that if you still have both your assistant manager chip and your triple captain, use your triple captain on Salah this week rather than your assistant manager. As we just saw in Game Week 24, triple captain on Salah can get you a huge score. This should also be Liverpool's last double game week, as they were surprisingly knocked out of the FA Cup by Plymouth last weekend, meaning this is your last chance to play triple captain on Mo Salah this year in a double. Yes, there may be other players doubling later on in the season, but in those weeks you should be looking to play your bench boost. Outside of that, you'll be playing it on a single game week player, and although there are still some good fixtures, chips are probably best used in double game weeks. There may also be a bit of confusion around Arne Slot and his red card after the whistle in the Merseyside derby. I just want to clarify to anybody that's unsure, cards, suspensions and touchline bans do not affect managers. Rightly or wrongly, they are the rules that are set by FPL themselves. So if you're looking at or currently on Arne Slot, there is nothing to worry about. Getting back on track to those looking to play or in the middle of their assistant manager, and I think most people will be currently on one of two managers, Moyes or Slot. If you're on Moyes, your best play is to move to Emre or Slot, as they are both the ones with the doubles. Emery is the easier move as he is only 0.8 million to Slot's 1.5. He also has a chance of a table bonus against Liverpool and a game against Leicester that you would expect them to win. Going for Slot is also highly dependent on how much money and how many Liverpool assets you already have. Again, if you are just looking to play your assistant manager this week, Emery or Slot are the only two options for me. And if you activated last week on Slot, you should stick with him for another double game week. And remember that his red card against Everton doesn't mean anything. I'd like to know what you all think about the assistant manager chip. Should it stay in its current form next season? Would you like it to stay but have some tweaks, or should it be gone for all eternity? Finally, let's move on to my team selection and transfer plans for Double Game Week 25. I'm pretty well set up for the upcoming game week with 3 Liverpool in Trent, Salah and Gakpo, and Morgan Rogers, the lonely Villa player, giving me 4 doublers. Gabriel and Raya also have a nice fixture against Leicester, hoping for a clean sheet there. But there are a few benching headaches this week. There will have to be a decision in defence between Hall and Robinson. At the moment, I'm on the latter just because of the home fixture and the fact that despite Forest's achievements this season, Man City are still better attack than them. My midfield is also pretty stacked with Rodgers and Salah doubling and Palmer playing Brighton, meaning I've got to choose 2 of Kluivert and Mbeumo and Wood. Kluivert playing Southampton I think is a lock, but I don't think I can look past Mbeumo playing West Ham either, which means I'm benching Wood. That doesn't feel like a good idea this season, and after a hat-trick performance as well. He also doesn't get in over Gakpo on a double, or Isaac either. Like I said, I'm pretty well set up, and the only thing I plan on doing is moving from Moyes to Emery, giving me the extra double fixture. After this week, all moves will be looking to set up for the blank in 29 and removing a few players so that I can field 11 before wildcarding to set up for a potential double later on in the season. Anyway, that's it for today's recap, folks. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, share it with your FPL buddies, and of course subscribe for more content. Drop your thoughts, transfers and questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your strategies for this double game week. I'll be back with more updates, tips and strategies for the upcoming game week. Best of luck with your teams, and let's keep aiming for that FPL Pinnacle. I'll see you in the next one.